Behind me is the Copart Caddy. And the whole reason I bought this, if you're new here, is because I made a huge mistake. I bought a BMW 1 Series convertible. It was really pretty, but it was really, really broken, wiping out all the profits I'd made in the last year. So we're back to square one, and we're starting with this £300 Caddy from Copart. But with fees and everything else, it owes us a little bit more now. I sold that BMW to We Buy Any Car for £1,000. So that's the budget we're working with. We've got £1,000 to buy a vehicle, fix it up, sell it, and trade into something else. And we're gonna see how high we can trade up and what we can get at the end of this little experiment. But for today, we've got to sort the Caddy out. Now, in the last couple of videos, we've had a look at it and we've fixed a lot of the problems. Today, we're gonna make it nice. In this video, we're gonna tackle the interior because it is absolutely disgusting. And the headrest pole is broken. So I think these seats have had it. That means we're gonna have to put some new seats in. We're also gonna have to give it a good clean because it's really disgusting. And as well as cleaning it, I've got a new steering wheel to go on because this steering wheel looks like a hamster has been chewing it. So we've got some work to do on the inside, but first of all, we're gonna start on the outside because there's two things that we really need to address. One of them is the wheels because we've got balding, punctured tires with screws stuck in them. So we've got to sort that out. And also, one of the other things I didn't notice until I was editing the last video on this van. Now this looks all perfectly normal. And because the floor in the barn is so uneven, I hadn't noticed. But when I'm looking back and editing the video, what can you see? That's right. The front of this van has got red springs on it. And I didn't think anything of it until I saw that video. And I thought, Tim, someone's lowered the front of this, but why would they lower the front and not the back? Now, there's two options. One is the shackle kits are quite expensive. So did they just take it off to sell it on, make a little bit of money back before this went to Copart? Or two, the most sinister option that someone suggested, whoever owned this van before may have been running it a little overweight. And so they had lowered springs in the front and left the back standard, so when they overloaded the van, when they're driving down the road, it's perfectly level and looks legit. Now, I like to think the best of people, so I'm gonna say they took it off to make some money back on the sale of the van, but I'll let you decide. But what that also means is we've got to tackle the suspension. We're either going one of two ways. We're either gonna bring the front up or we're gonna send the back down. Have a quick guess, because the next thing you're gonna see is what we're gonna do. I'm at the back with the wheel off, so that can mean only one thing. Yep, the van is going down. And I know what you're thinking, I really do, because some of you are screaming right now, Tim, I thought this was a budget build. Well, it is, and let me tell you why. So down here, we've got the rear shackle kit. So it's a really solid kit. And while I was looking on Facebook Marketplace, the home of all questionable automotive decisions, looking for a set of wheels for this, I came across this rear lowering kit for £40. The only trouble is, it was in Sheffield. Now, there was no way I was going to spend a day driving to Sheffield and back for £40 off a lowering kit, but luckily, the lady agreed to post it. So for £54, yeah, £54, we have a lowering kit to go on the back of the Caddy. I think that's an absolute bargain, and what that means is that it opens up our choice of wheels because the van's going lower. So yeah, guys, lots of good things happening. So let's get started on this. We don't want to go too low because we want to keep the appeal for this van pretty broad, but we do just need to level it out. So it was a choice of doing the rears or buying new top mounts, new springs and lifting the front up. And I think the springs for this are about £40 for the front, probably a couple of top mounts while I'm there because I'm not an animal, would be another 15, 20 quid for the pair, maybe a little bit more. So actually this was the most cost-effective way. That's right, modifying it was the cheaper option. Let's get this on. Getting started with taking the spring out itself. There's loads of videos online how to do this. I think the Dan Chambers one was really good, really clear. Go and have a look at that if you want to know how to take a spring out and fit one of these kits. But looking at what we've got here, down here, we need to remove this. There's a 16mm nut here, which will give it some more lube.
Yeah, boy.
So lubing both ends, just to make sure it penetrates right the way through. So we'll give that another squirt, just to make sure.
Now this is super easy to do. We just
flipping this plate over to the other side, tightening back up, reassembling the shackle kit so it looks like this, 4 bolts, put your shock absorber back in, tighten him up, and you're good to go. This is basically what it looks like. We've trimmed the bump stop. Double check to make sure everything's nice and tight. And so that is that side pretty much done. Now with all that done up, I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, we're not done spending money yet. So when you lower these axles, it moves the wheel slightly. And I thought we were going to get away with it because, I mean, if you needed to relocate or recenter the center of the wheel, surely it would come in the kit, right? Obviously not. And yeah, taking a look at this wheel now, obviously you can see it's not centered, but how far out is it? Well, on this one here, we've got, that's a tight 2 fingers right there. Yeah, that's quite snug. This one, on the other hand, I mean, you've got a fist and 2 fingers in that one. Scientific measurements at the barn, I know, but I just don't think that's gonna do. So yeah, we're gonna have to spend some more money. We're gonna get on eBay and we're gonna order some wheel centralization plates. So they should be here in a couple of days. And the next day, it looks just as good as it did last night. I'm so excited. And with it lowered, I mean, what a difference. This thing looks amazing. We've even put some wheels on it, and I will show you those later. But for now, we need to sort this interior. So let's get in the van and I'll tell you what we're doing. In the sunshine this morning, this van looks so good. Oh guys, I'm so excited. But the interior needs some work and that's what we're gonna tackle today. So by the end of this video, we should have this van, I think, ready to sell. I'm looking online, they're really hard to find. So I've seen some around 80 to 100 pounds, which is okay, but it's a bit of a trek. It's like an hour and a half drive, so an hour and a half back. So it's gonna be a good, what, 3.5 hours round trip to get these seats, and that's pretty much half a day wasted. So we're going to weigh the Audi TT in this morning at the local breakers around the corner, and the good thing is they'll let you have a wander around and yeah, basically take off what you want and they'll sell it to you. So we're going to have a look to see what the breakers has got in stock and see if we can find some seats that will fit in this van this morning. Let's have a look what they've got. Having a look, I mean, look at this. This takes me back. I haven't been to one of these in a while. Oh, we've got a Mark V Golf down here. So what have we got? Looks like they have been eaten by something. So yeah, maybe they're not the one. I guess anything around that age, Volkswagen, Audi, Seat or Skoda. But looking at it, I mean, there's not a huge amount here. It's not a massive breakers yard, but there might be something we're looking for. Oh, we've got a decent front wing here. Pretty sure that's the same as a Caddy. And someone's gone to the effort of taking most of it off. It's a shame the front bumper's gone. What are the seats like? Let's have a look. Oh no, okay, that's a shame. Oh, gutted. Okay, what else have we got? What's next to it? All right, we've got this Audi A3, which, looking at it, I mean, these would do, wouldn't they? What do you think, guys? Yeah, bolster's all right. They're not soaking wet. Yeah, I think this might be a winner. If I can get these seats and that wing for not much money, yeah, this could be a good trip. What a bargain. Yep, I got those Audi A3 seats for £40 the pair. And that Touran wing, just another £20. So for £60 all in, I mean, I think that is an absolute bargain. But I think I may have made a bit of a mistake. So I don't know if that Touran wing's gonna fit. It is a Mark 1, but I think there might be a difference. And 2, I'm thinking I probably should have taken those Touran seat bases, because even though the seats were trashed, I think taking those bases might have made fitting these A3 seats a bit easier. But look, I'm just pulling up to Roger's workshop now because he messaged me last night after I told him what we'd done to the Caddy, and he's desperate to see it. So let's get this into the workshop and give it a good clean, and then we'll get these bits and pieces fitted and we'll go from there. With the van back up at the workshop, it's time to get this thing clean. So I think we're going to start with the interior, and I guess the way we're going to do that is take these front seats out and then get Henry Hoover in here, and then we'll sort that ply lining out of the back. So we'll start with the big bits that we can't pick up on the Hoover and a bin bag. With most of the rubbish gone, we've got to take these seats out, and I'm sure there's going to be loads more under there. So with this multi-spline bit, we're going to do the 4 bolts and get this seat out. We'll start with the back, slide it backwards on its runners, take the front 2 out, and we'll whip these seats out. And with it hoovered out, we can get the new seats in. Yeah, that's right. I bottled it. Yeah, I went back and picked them up for 20 quid. I think he was surprised I offered him 20 quid on them, so maybe I did myself a wrong 'un. But yeah, I'd looked at it and I thought, I think they're going to need drilling to get them to fit, and then I'd have to nut and bolt it, or for 20 quid, I could get a set of these. Let's get these mounted to the van, and then we can just offer those seats up. Nice and simple. Should be another 10 minutes and we'll have this done. But before we put the new bases and seats in, we need to give this a clean, because this is disgusting. I mean, just how many cans of Monster and cups of Builder's tea do you think's been spilt in here? And while the seats are out, this is the best time to clean all of this nastiness. So we'll give it a nice soak in with some interior cleaner, let that soak, and hopefully this will look a damn sight better than it does right now. That is disgusting. But the nice thing about these is they've got these rubber floor mats, so we can literally get in here with a bucket, a sponge and some water and just give it a real deep clean, not really worrying about getting the carpet soaking wet, because again, these rubber mats will just wipe clean. Well, that's the idea anyway. And just with a little bit of work, what a difference. And now with it cleaned and both bases in, it's finally time to get these seats in. And because we use the Touran bases, it means we don't have to trim the little tab off the front of the seats or drill the bases and nut and bolt it at the back. These seats will just bolt straight in. I'm just putting the last few bolts in the bottom of the front seats, and what a difference. This is just such a transformation. I'm so happy with this van so far. Yeah, the outside looks fantastic. Well, the outside looks good considering what we've done and what we've spent. The interior, these seats, absolute bargain, and have made such a difference. I hope they're as comfortable as they look. And then we've got a couple of bits and pieces, and I think this thing's ready for sale. So yeah, let's get this buttoned up, and then we can give the outside a good clean and we can see exactly what we're up against. And if you're this far into the video and you still haven't subscribed, guys, what more do I need to do? Give it a like, give it a subscribe, and yeah, you'll be notified next time we upload a video. And with both of them in, oh, there. Got to have the first sit in the driver's seat, haven't I? Oh, what a difference. Now, these seats are, oh, so much nicer than the Caddy seats. But this box behind me is stopping me putting the seat back a bit. So I'm still sat bolt upright, which isn't the most comfortable. So I think we're going to have to take that wooden box out and just, yeah, let's open the back of this van up a little bit. This box looks like it's held in with just a bunch of wood screws and a bit of silicone sealant. I think we can probably take it out in one go. So we'll just work it through screw by screw until it falls off, I guess. Okay, that's not what I wanted to do. Thought I'd get that little box off in one. No, it's not the case. Instead, we've caused a right mess. That is what we've got now. Bugger. Not ideal, but look, here we are. Now I don't want to damage this ply lining because, do you know what, plywood is not cheap anymore. I don't want to have to put new ply lining in the back. So if I can get this off and not damage it, then we can get this thing ready to go pretty quickly. Maybe I should have kept the business card from the guy who used to own this, because this little box is really well made. The screws aren't a problem. A good impact driver and they're coming straight out, but it's whatever they've used to bond this on as well, because it's really on there tight, and I don't want to damage the ply lining, so I've got to try and just lever it off without pulling the top layer or two of the wood away. It's not perfect, but that's not the point in this van. I think there was a comment on the last video where someone said, if you're not going to make it perfect, why bother? Well, because this is probably only going to sell for about £1,700. It's not a perfect van. It's a van for someone who hasn't got a lot of money but needs a van to get about, maybe goes to work, or someone who wants a Caddy but really is at the entry-level price point, and then they can spend their time making it perfect. But for me, this is a car where we're going to do a little bit of work, and then hopefully we're going to see some profit out of it. With the carpet lining secured back to the wall with some tape, and then the boards will hold it in place, we can get that board back in, and hopefully that's the back of this buttoned up. We've got some work to do at the front of the van here. This steering wheel looks like a dog has been chewing it. Luckily, I picked up a replacement off of Facebook Marketplace for £25 and the guy was down the road from me. So result there. Now we've got to take the airbag out the old wheel. And to do it, you need to flick the clips off the back of it. So I'll show you with the one in the back of the van and then we'll have a go at the one that's actually connected to the van. To remove the airbag, you have to flick off these clips either side. They're springs, so they're fairly sturdy, but with a good screwdriver, you'll get them off. And that is how you get an airbag off. Now I've got to try and do that on the van, behind the dash, just by touch. But first of all, I'm going to disconnect the battery because I don't want to put the airbag light on. So when you're doing anything with airbags, always disconnect the battery for safety's sake, because regardless of the light coming on, you don't want it going off in your face. So we'll get the battery disconnected and we'll get this wheel swapped over. Like I said, getting the airbag off in situ is a lot harder, but you've got to get a flat screwdriver, tilt the wheel to this angle so you've got access to the slots. And then you need to lift this cover up and out the way so you can get in the back there and just push it down. And with both clips released, we can remove the airbag. And then with the airbag pulled out the way, you've got this little white clip down here. And if you pull it, it's kind of spring loaded, but you just pull that clip towards you. And there you go. One old airbag removed. We just need to undo this nut in the center and then we can put the new wheel and new airbag on. We've just got to clean this dash and then I think we're done. I'll take it for a quick road test, make sure I'm happy with it, but guys, what a difference. So there's some last bits of rubbish up here. We've got some of our business cards off Mr. Builder. What else have we got? Anything good? We've got some screws or, I mean, whatever that is. Golf tee? Don't know. Some rubber buns. Oh my God. That is actually a human tooth. That is disgusting. I thought when I was cleaning this out, there were like massive peelings of fingernails or toenails that looked about that long. And I thought, no, it can't be. That is pretty grimy. Surely the owner was not that wrong. But there's an actual tooth, guys. One of the other jobs we needed to tackle was the passenger window switch. It would go up, but you couldn't put it down. So we bought a new one off of Amazon. It was about £5. It really wasn't a lot of money. And to get it out, put something down the front of this bit here to push those in. And then we can remove the plug and just swap these over. You can tell it was a £5 on Amazon because it's the same size, but that's the Volkswagen one. This is the one which, yeah, well, as long as it works, that's all that matters. Beautiful. We didn't have that before. Guys, I think we're done. I mean, this dash is going to take probably a good few hours to clean properly because it's just ingrained dirt in here. So once I've cleaned it, it looks good, but then it dries and you can see where it's still absolutely filthy. But I think you'll agree, it looks 100 times better than it did earlier. And this thing still needs a wash and this interior still needs more time. But I've got another upgrade for this. This was literally a couple of pounds off AliExpress. I've ordered a bunch of these because they fit all Volkswagens of this sort of age. I ordered them for my T5 and for my Tiguan as well. But seeing as I've got a set, I'm going to fit them to this. So in this bag is some replacement facelift style heater control knobs. I know, it's the little things, right? But I think these are pretty cool and we'll just brighten this interior up just a little bit. So to start with, we just need to remove these. Now Sam can pull these off with his bare hands, but Sam is not here. And yeah, out, pinch my fingers. There's one I took off earlier. And then these just push fit back into the hole. And it's as simple as that. What do you think? Worth the £4 or £5 off AliExpress? And they even light up with the dash illumination too. I mean, £4 or £5 later, and yeah, it just brightens it up a little bit and makes this dash a little more interesting. Now that has been a really productive day in the workshop to get this Caddy all buttoned up. Now I need to give it a clean because it is still pretty disgusting on the inside. I mean, it's a hell of a lot better than it was, but it's certainly, yeah, you wouldn't put a car up for sale looking like this. So I need to give it another good scrub. So I'm gonna get this cleaned. We're gonna have a look at everything that we've done, how it looks now compared to how it looked before, and more importantly, what we've spent on it. What does this van owe us, and how much do I think I'm gonna put it up for sale for? So let's get this cleaned and we'll come back to a nice clean Caddy. And here it is, the finished van. That's right, the Caddy is ready for sale. I feel like we've done quite a lot with not a lot of money, and I'm really happy with how this has turned out. So let's have a quick look at all the things that we've done before we get this thing up for sale. We've lowered it at the back to bring it in line with the front, and we fitted the 17-inch wheels off the Audi A3 that we had just spare kicking around the barn. So that means the wheels didn't really cost us anything. I know it's kind of cheating, but look, I wasn't going to put them on anything else, and they were just sitting there in the barn gathering dust. The tyres are good, so it saved us buying new tyres. And for £54 for the rear suspension kit, well, that was cheaper than buying a couple of wheels with some running tyres. So, do you know what? I think for £54, we've completely transformed the look of this on the outside. Yes, I'm counting the wheels as free, but even if they'd been £100, I think that would be totally worth it. And then we fitted the seats that we picked up from the breakers yard for £60 with the bases, and the new steering wheel for £25. So for £85 in here, what a transformation. I mean, oh guys, this is amazing. Then we have cleaned off the layers of grime and dirt. And yeah, I mean, what a difference. It could probably do with another going over. And I'm going to drive this as my daily for a little bit just to make sure everything's okay. But I'll give it another clean inside. But yeah, it's such a different place to be. We also fitted the updated heater controls. Again, what a difference. They're about £5 off of AliExpress. So if you've got the plastic heater controls, and these fit in all of Volkswagens at this age. So I've bought a set for the Tiguan, I've got a set for the T5, I've put a set in here. They'll fit a Mark V Golf if you got one. So again, for a £5, bargain. We fitted the new window switch, and even though the sticker is a little bit wonky, well, it does the job. £5 well spent. We didn't end up needing the wheel centralisation kit because once we fitted the other side, it kind of pulled it square. And then with the van back on the floor, yeah, it all looks nice in the end. Because we haven't gone super low, it doesn't really matter. So again, lesson learned for me, don't panic until you see the final result. I also fitted a new sun visor clip, and it wasn't until I'd seen the comment on the last video about just stealing the clip off the TT. Well, I forgot. And so I ended up having to buy some new ones. And yeah, £5 for a pack of 2. Fitted them in 2 minutes, nice and easy. With everything we've spent, this Caddy owes us just over £1,000. It's about 1,020 if I'm being exact. I'm so happy with what we've got here. For just over £1,000, we've got a really sorted little Caddy van. It's MOT'd until next year, so I think this will do someone as a really nice little work van. It's not perfect, of course it's not, but it was never going to be, and there's no point in spending the money on getting everything absolutely perfect. We've fitted the new rear brakes, we've lowered the suspension, we've fitted some legal tyres, we've given it a clean, we've transformed that interior with the new steering wheel and Audi seats. After it's done a few miles, the clutch feels so much better. We've bled the brakes. Guys, this thing is a sorted little van, and I think it'll do someone proud. So what's it worth? Wow, Caddies are really hard to price. So I think we're not going to go crazy on this. I think if we put it up for £1,750 and see where we go from there, that'll give us a really nice profit to set us up for the next car. What do you think? Is there anything you would have done differently to this Caddy? Or is this, for the money, a great result? Let me know what you think down in the comments. And of course, remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel, it helps massively, and take a look at one of these videos that YouTube thinks you might like.